Just a thought. Rick in Madison. Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing great, Mandy. This is Rick Berry's loyal minion here in Madison, and I sent you guys a couple photos of an interesting phenomenon that we got going that I really didn't know was happening before, but there's a Department of Homeland Security police force, and they showed up at some of the IRS demonstrations, and a great friend of Liberty, State Senator Jim Smith, sent me a thing. Apparently this is part of the enabling stuff from the when they created Homeland Security. They got their own police force. I didn't realize that. Are you aware of that?
But what are they tasked and able to do?
I haven't the faintest idea, but if you look at Breitbart, and I've got a picture right in front of me. You can't see it because you're on radio, but it says Homeland Security Police, Federal Protective Service. And I've seen one car around here, and they have their own uniforms, and this is scary stuff. I kind of have a vested interest because my dad carried scars from the last state police that I was aware of. That was in Germany. But it's on Breitbart, but they've got, Lisa can probably send you a link as far as there was a demonstration down in Florida, and they got a Homeland Security police car, and but this is worth checking out.
I will. I mean, I find that fascinating. I'd love to know what their limits are.
I haven't the faintest idea, let alone it enables the Department of Homeland Security to have, some kind of protective force. And, I mean, this segues with what, as far as the Internet stuff, and I think hearing some veracity as far as them buying up 500 million rounds of ammunition, which is kind of inflating the market for ammunition right now. But
kind of? Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's totally inflating the market. I was being sarcastic. I mean, it's definitely inflating the market right now.
Well, I don't want to sound alarmist, but I'm right on top of the roof of the car right now, waving my arms big time, just so that.
Well, it says I see federal building security, safeguarding facilities, and civilians. This is from the DHS website. I'll read more of this when we get back, Rick. I'll give a little overview. I'll read this on the break and then cherry pick the best parts for you. I'll share that in just a minute.
Thank you so much.
No problem, man. Talk to you later. We'll be right back after this on 84 WHAS. Ba-da-ba-bum. 57 degrees outside on 84 WHAS. Okay, so apparently there's the building security forces, federal building security. That's got to be what it is. Because I don't see anything else that could fall under that category. And they're charged from the Department of Homeland Security with protecting thousands of federal facilities and safeguarding millions of federal employees, contractors, and civilian visitors. FPS provides superior law enforcement and protective security services by leveraging intelligence and information from federal, state, local, tribal, territorial, and private sector partners. They protect our critical federal buildings by detecting, deterring, disrupting, and investigating threats using law enforcement authorities. It says in financial year 2011, FPS has conducted over 2,000 criminal investigations. Into whom? I'd like to know that question. Provided protective service presence at over 1,200 demonstrations and disturbances, meaning that they were just blocking the building from looters. Made over 1,600 arrests. Who got arrested? Just curious. Performed more than 13,000 canine sweeps for explosives. Confiscated more than 700,000 dangerous weapons, objects, and contraband. From where? I mean, I'm being dead serious. Where did they do that? Are they counting all the pocket knives they confiscated at the metal detectors going into the Capitol? Just curious. Just curious. So, yeah. I don't know what to do with that. Bill, you're on 84 WHAS.
Hello, great show on a Friday.
Well, thank you.
Just want to make a quick comment. I've been listening to all your callers with intent today, but I want everybody to stop and think just for a little bit about what this weekend is. It's Memorial Day weekend. It's a time for sales, a time for people to go into the park and have fun, and we just need to realize what Memorial Day is, why we have it every year, and if you see a veteran, thank them for their service.
Will do. I do it every time I see him anyway. But this is about the people who have fallen and paid the ultimate price in protecting our nation. That's what Memorial Day is all about. Dennis, you're on 84 WHAS.
Hi, Mandy.
Hello.
I was going to solve the mystery for you on the Federal Police Service.
Yeah, did I get it right? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the description you read is just really, really a real spin. They're nothing more than really high-class security. All the stuff that they confiscated, like down at the federal court building, where they have the scanners and stuff when you go in there, if they confiscate something there, that's all it is at the Capitol, just pocket knives and that kind of thing. The people they arrest are usually just crazy people or demonstrators that demonstrate or go into a area, on a federal place where they're not supposed to be, homeless people, that kind of thing. And the investigations they do, a few years ago when the guy dumped all the paint on the steps of the federal building. And
right.
There. So it's just what you read is accurate, but it's really flowered up or dressed up to make it sound really, really, And they were here before the Department of Homeland Security came around, just like all the agencies that are under Homeland Security now. They were all here before. Now that's just their umbrella agency. And the guy was asking about all the rounds of ammunition that got bought. And they just knew that there was going to be a shortage. And so that's just buying for all those different agencies. There's not a big conspiracy there.
Yeah, but the only problem I have with that is that at the volume that the Department of Homeland Security purchased ammunition, literally they would have to have every armed member of their department standing around and shooting all day in order to shoot that in the next 15 or 20 years.
You have to realize that that's the Border Patrol, FPS, and they do qualify a lot. So when you take in Border Patrol and Customs...
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, I have seen the math breakdown on a per-employee basis. They've purchased the equivalent of about 100,000 rounds per employee.
Yeah, and then I've heard some talk shows, too, where they talk about, it was a government contract, and they were saying, about a kickback and that kind of thing. And that's sort of understandable. I mean, it's a huge contract, but they bought more than they really needed.
And my point is, do you really think that in next year's Department of Homeland Security budget, there's going to be $0 spent on ammunition?
Oh, no. They'll waste it the next one just
exactly.
Like this one. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, on a lighter note, can I ask you one thing real quick? Okay. I know you were in the airline industry.
Right.
Did you see the Geico commercial where they have the little pig and he's doing the electrical thing?
Yes.
And two stewardesses come out. I think of you every time I see that because they stereotype those two, stewardesses so much. But that was one of the funniest commercials I've ever seen.
You know what's so funny about it is it's really kind of weird to have a talking pig on there. And the first probably 10 times I saw it, I could not have told you what the product was they were selling. So in my mind, though it's a very clever little 30-second skit, it's a terrible commercial because I had no idea what they were selling. No clue. I laughed at it every time and then was like, what the hell was that for? Bacon? Now I want bacon. That's all I can think of. Now I want bacon. We'll be back after the Park Community Credit Union Bloomberg update. 84 WHAS. We are working our way through a free-for-all Friday. It's been a good one. If you like me on Facebook, Brian, did you see the video I posted, Conversations with My 2-year-old?
No.
It's an actual conversation that this guy had with his 2-year-old, reenacted by the dad and a grown man. And it's any parent out there of a small child will laugh hysterically at this. It's weird, but it is so funny because it's true. It's 100% accurate. And if you like my Facebook pages, I posted it today just as something random from the internet to laugh at today. Ruth Ann, you're on 84 WHAS.
Hi, Mandy. I just thought I'd let you know that I was at the demonstration of the IRS on the 21st. That was Tuesday. And they did make their presence known, the Homeland Security. Mm-hmm. There were 2 vehicles there. I mean, it is kind of intimidating. They have the dark glass, and they're just sitting there. I had also been to a demonstration in the fall for religious liberty in front of the federal courthouse at 7th and Broadway. And we were in front of the courthouse, and Archbishop Kurtz was there and other people, and they were lined up across the street facing us. It's just kind of intimidating.
Unnerving. Yeah. And I think that's the point. I mean, if you want to make sure that people feel intimidated, then give them, the visual of intimidation. That's why police show force. Exactly. I mean, that's what it is. So, but, obviously, you guys were not out of control. You didn't do anything wrong, so everything was fine.
Yes.
Yeah, I find that hard to believe. What, you crazy, violent Tea Party people. I know, I'm kidding. I'm just having some fun with you. I thought you'd find that funny, Ruth Ann, because I know everybody I know named Ruth Ann's out of control maniac. That's what you are, lady. I'm hip. It's all about control. Bill.
Hey, Mandy, I'm in my late 50s, and so I'm not always right about everything, but you get gut feelings about it, and when the older you get these feelings. I can tell you that the Homeland Security Police are not the Federal Protection Service for the buildings. Those are going to be two separate entities. I guarantee if you dig deeper, you will find that out, because they're not just sit around. You go over to the federal courthouse, you're not going to see one of those federal Homeland Security trucks sitting outside with the guys there. So if they're not there, but they are monitoring the buildings, where are they at? What are they doing? It's something completely different. I can't tell you what it is, but it is. Number two, it kind of gets me about these guys. Like you had the one fella coming on, he was trying to soft pedal all the 500 million rounds of ammunition.
Yeah,
that's hollow point. You know that, and I know that. 40 caliber hollow point, 9mm hollow point. They don't practice with hollow points.
Yeah,
they cost more. That stuff is used for people. It's intended to take down people. They're preparing for a revolution. I guarantee they are. That's another one of these. I'm 50, and I'm over 50, and I understand that kind of stuff. I just see it coming. And then the third thing that really gripes me, and I saw this under President Bush, when they came out with the Homeland Security stuff, all of a sudden, the county courthouse, the city courthouse, the city buildings, and now it's down to, even if I go over to IPL to get a building permit, they've got a guard right there. All this money going to guard the government employees. Well, if I go to Jewish Hospital has to pay for their own security. So what am I doing? My taxes are paying for Jewish Hospital security because I got to pay for Jewish Hospital's cost, but they're also paying for the government's security. Do I get security at my house paid for by the government? Nope. Does my company that I work for get security paid for at our office because the government pays for it? Nope. We got to pay for it ourselves. It gets under my skin that the government can decide, we have to protect ourselves, but you're going to pay for it. And that really galls me, and it's getting worse and worse.
Yeah, but I mean, anything the government spends money on is our money. I could make the same argument about overly generous benefits, of overly generous retirements. I mean, all that stuff fires me up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I agree with you. I hate to think that they're preparing for revolution, but part of me absolutely is inside saying, yes, I think you're right. And as long as we are armed, I hope they're scared of us. I hope they're scared of us. Because a caller earlier rightly referred to a Thomas Jefferson quote, when the people fear government, there is tyranny. When the government fears the people, there is liberty. So, Gary, you're on 84 WHAS.
Yes, Mandy, I've been listening for a while here, and this morning I've kind of been listening to your thing on Homeland Security and all the rounds and stuff and the 750 armored vehicles they've bought. But it has come to my attention that Obamacare is going to be, the questions that they're going to ask you by your nurse and your doctor are going to be turned over to Homeland Security along with the IRS. And here you got someone who's questioning you who is not a sworn authority, who is not, so sworn to support the Constitution in any way, shape, or form.
Accountable is the word you're looking for.
Accountable, okay. Is going to be answering questions on your questionnaire. If they don't tell the truth or they don't tell a lie, then what happens when this gets turned over to them? And, do you stand on your Fifth Amendment rights? Do you request a lawyer when you're talking to your doctor? Where's this going to go? A lot of people don't realize that when you go to your doctor, because I'm looking at a doctor's appointment now, and am I going to get asked these questions? Am I sane? Am I thought about suicide? Do I own a weapon? I mean, these are the kind of questions that if you don't answer them correctly to their standards, what are they going? They're coming after you.
Right.
And this is going to be Homeland Security.
Yeah, it's all sort of incrementally incredibly frightening.
It really is.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you wonder. Where are you going to be able to insert your constitutional rights or your lawyer rights when you're talking to your doctor?
Yeah.
Or you're talking to your doctor's nurse. Do you have to do this? Do you need a lawyer present?
Well, you should. And, there's always, and this is the thing, I ran into this in Florida when a pediatrician that we saw briefly asked us about guns in the house. And I was like, what are you talking about? And they questioned us about whether and this was 4 years ago. And yeah. I said, I don't think that's any of your business. I don't think that's an appropriate question. And he said, well, he kind of hemmed and hawed. And I said, hey, are you going to ask me if we have a swimming pool too? Because we have a swimming pool, which is, statistically more likely to take my child's life than a handgun in my home. It was very awkward. And I just simply choose not to answer those questions. Just say no. Just say no. Where are they going to come and, well, if they can't make Lois Lerner answer questions, how's my doctor going to make me answer questions? Huh? We'll be back after this to wrap things up on 84 W.